Hey, Mark, excited today.
Good. Hey, I'm ready to talk texture. See how I can help you.
Well, Texture Tech was created to fill the gap between Black women being the primary patrons of hair care retail and being virtually absent in the ownership space. So when
Okay.
I opened, I wanted to make sure that I had the online presence. And so I have over 40,000 SKUs on the website. We offer local delivery, store pickup,
And
um,
so out of the 40,000 SKUs, what do you inventory?
wigs, hair extensions, hair products, even some hair books. Texture Tech I was planning the 1 year anniversary when, the stay at home orders came out.
Yeah.
So as we're balancing, identifying what our customers are really, caring about and what's really selling, that's where I'm trying to. So that's where one of my questions was to you
Sure.
is how does a new business and entrepreneurship really get into that 80/20 inventory management?
As an entrepreneur, sometimes we tend to chase sales, right?
Mhm.
And so we inventory too many things because this one person asked for this model or this SKU, right? And you sell the one, but you have to buy five, but you wanted to get the one sale. So now you got four left and you don't know how to get rid of them, right? And that ends up using a lot of cash. So you end up having $100,000 in inventory, and that makes things more difficult. But now what's changing some, there's a new thing with merchandising called drops. So what happens is if there's a new shoe that's being released from Nike or from Jordan Brand, right? They do a drop and there's a limited number of items available. And so people line up to get them. That's one kind of drop.
Yep.
Another kind of drop is on social media, or in your case, because you have all these names and everything, it could be through an email newsletter where you announce new products and you see what the response is. And then you inventory, you buy for orders, because it's really, really hard, particularly now when you're not going to get a lot of foot traffic and you're trying to find little angles to make things sell. There are no easy things, right? What you have to figure out is what is the one thing you can sell. So that's where I want you to start focusing, okay? So you've got 2,200 emails, and I want you to start building a newsletter, an email newsletter that you send out every week where you talk about nothing but hair. You're the expert, right?
Yep.
You know the industry better than anybody. And I bet, a lot of your customers like to just come in and gossip about hair, right?
Yes, they do.
If that's a big thing to you and your personality and your confidence, you want to talk about it and you want to know about it, right? That's your key. That's your moneymaker. You want to try to get it so that it's right there that you buy, because the more steps someone has to take, you're going to lose people along the way, right? It's got to be fun. It's got to be engaging, and you're going to make available on a limited basis, right? Something new every week,
Okay.
right? And right now, it's going to be something that you have already in inventory so that you can get out of it, right? Whatever you have the most of, that's what you're going to, because that's cash right into your pocket, right?
So when do I know that it's time to replenish that item, or should I replenish that
You
item?
shouldn't. No, because you're going to try to train your customer to be patient enough to wait for you to order it and get it in, right? Because that saves you cash, as opposed to trying to come up with an inventory system like Target where you're replenishing, because Target's based off of traffic coming through the store. The more foot traffic you have, that's not your business. Your business is getting people so freaking happy about hair and the hair they get from Teryn that they feel like they look better than Beyonce every time they walk out the door.
Well, goodness.
That's your job. That's your only job. Then they're buying from you because they trust you and love you. Mm-hmm. And they know that you love them. Your number one mission is to build up an email newsletter where you're the goddess of hair, building a connection between your customers, right? And you want that connection to be so strong that one of the things at the bottom of the email is going to say, forward to somebody else that you know that you love, that loves hair as much as you do and I do, right? Part two to that, you want to feature your hair goddessette, your texture goddesses, hashtag texture goddess, and you want to take a picture from their Instagram or whatever and put it in your newsletter, because then you're going to get people who want to buy so they can be featured in your newsletter too. Even online, it's about personal relationships, even if you never meet the people. It's about trust. It's about being an influencer, right? You are the goddess of hair because you're selling relationships. Mm-hmm. And that way you don't have to worry about your turns or this or that, right? Because you're buying to order, meaning you don't buy inventory. You don't buy anything until it's already sold.
Yeah.
Now your sales may go down some, Don't get me wrong, right? But your margins will go up. So many entrepreneurs get caught up. Well, I'm going to get to $100,000 in sales, right? Then if I get to 100, I can get to 200. And if I get to $1 million in sales, I'm rich, right? Everybody goes through that. But it's not that. If I can get to $30,000 in gross margin in a month, if I can get to $40,000 in gross margin, then you're making 10 grand a month from the store, even though your sales might be half as much, and you're putting that money into your pocket. Don't get caught up chasing sales. Get caught up chasing profits and gross margin dollars. What else do you want to ask me, Teryn?
That was helpful. Okay, so what are some of the mistakes you've seen entrepreneurs make when they're adding new like layers to their business? Or
You don't need to add layers. You're not big enough to add layers. The problem is they add layers. Entrepreneurs that come out of big companies try to replicate what they learned in those big companies. Being an entrepreneur, you have to learn everything. Excuse my French, right? You don't hire for those things. You learn it. I mean, I've been doing this a long time and I have to learn every single day. There's things I don't know and for my little companies, I have to be the best salesperson. It's your company, Teryn. You have to be that salesperson. You're the hair goddess.
I love this hashtag. Let me check the trademarks on that.
Right?
And definitely that's going to have to come with some trust about pre-orders.
Most of these people you probably already know anyways.
True.
And unless you give them reason not to trust you, right, they will trust you. And again, it's not going to start off, you're not going to get $50,000 in orders from your first newsletter. You might sell 2, but you're going to say to those 2 people, hey, make sure you send me a picture or put it on Instagram because I'm going to feature you. And then I'm going to tell everybody how fabulous you look, and everybody's going to see how fabulous you look. And then you're going to take credit for it because you are
the hair goddess.
Right. Right.
Love it.
You know, every moment of the day is an opportunity to sell. That strain, that stress, that aggravation, that fear, I still feel it.
Yeah.
When you're feeling that should be your motivation to sell.
That's fantastic. This was incredibly helpful. Really, it's really a mindset shift because you hit the nail on the head with me kind of treating it as a target, but also our customers come in sometimes when they like something, they want to continue to purchase it. And so that's where I'm going to have to identify what it is that I will have to keep in stock.
Well, see, that's part of getting to know your customers. Talk to them, get to know them. You've got to be the number one salesperson. You've got to always be selling, always. Don't stress, even though you will, right? Don't think you have to find this magic formula for how it's done because there is none. Always remember, if you love your customers to death and you relate to them, and I have the sense you have no problem talking to anybody, and you could talk for hours to people about hair, right?
Absolutely.
Do it, because you are
the hair goddess.
Amen.
I love this, Mark. Thank you so much.
You got it, Teryn. Thank you.